Bow chicka bow bow, girl. You know what episode this is?
The sexy cover episode?
It is episode 69.
Yes!
Yeah, 69. You know what they call 69? Dinner and a show.
And let me tell you, what we've picked out to talk about today is perfect. It is very much a show first, and then you get dinner when you read the issue, but the cover is a show. So yeah, I know with the 69th one, y'all, we wanted to pick something that was 69 worthy, and if this cover alone isn't, I don't know what else to tell you.
Okay, so before we get into all that, welcome back, everybody. Hello, my name is Lisa. This is simply amazing.
Oh, that's cute.
I know, but I don't know where that came from. I think that might actually be like the beat in the Mortal Kombat song from the 90s. Mortal Kombat. I don't know. Now we're doing copyrighted shit, so let's move on. Yes, I'm Lisa. This is Simply Amazing. Welcome back, everybody. We're so happy to have you here for our 69th show.
I can't believe it, guys. Not only is this the 69th episode, but y'all have put up with us for 69 episodes.
Weeks, 69 episodes. I mean, well, and of course, with me as always is my fabulous co-host. This girl, she looks like a snack today. She is an absolute snack.
Like a fluffy snack. I'm actually, you know what? I guess I should wear this more when we record because this is my fuzzy blue robe that makes me happy. I love it. Don't wear it when I get out of the shower. I have a shower robe that gets wet. This one is not allowed to get wet. If it gets wet, I cry.
Girl, don't. It's a little early to be getting wet in our 69th episode. Oh my god.
Nothing is safe to say on this episode.
Seriously. The funny thing is like this issue is like the cover is sexy and like the inside is like there's nothing sexy about the inside of this issue. Like
it's not. I mean, there's one point where like it's a weird moment and there's just so much to say here. But can we talk about the cover first? And I know we're skipping over introductions because we're so excited about this, but I'm Lauren. That's all you need to know. I'm Lauren. I'm here.
I've already introduced you. You're a snack. I mean, what else is there to say?
Who's that other person? There's Lisa and the Snack. Oh, Lisa and the Snack. That's a band name.
Okay. If we ever have a detective agency, that's our name. Lisa and the Snack.
Lisa and the Snack. I'm the Snack. I love this. Perfect. No questions. That is perfect.
If you have a mystery that needs solving, contact Lisa and the Snack.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, y'all. We don't plan this shit, and then it happens live. So bless y'all for listening.
I love it. Like, we have not even opened the issue yet, but it's all good. It's good.
Because we got a sexy cover to talk about, girl. We got some booty and some tail and some phallic objects.
Listen, y'all tuned in to Lisa and the Snack. What did you expect?
Okay, so those of you that didn't read the title of the episode or what have you, we are looking at Wolverine issue number 6. It's from 2003, roughly, I believe. Yes. And this cover, so we're going to talk about the issue as well, but the cover itself is very famous for those of you that don't know. It infamously got past Marvel Editorial. And you guys can look it up right now while you're listening. Like, just Google it. You'll see it very quickly. But yeah, it's a Logurt cover, and you see some Nightcrawler ass. So if you're like, when can I see more of Kurt booty? Just buy the cover and put it on your wall. You'll see it every time you wake up. I mean,
yeah, this is okay. So the cover artist is Asad Ribic. I want to say that's how you say his name. And this is like the famous Nightcrawler is naked and Wolverine is staring at his junk with a beer bottle in the place of his dick cover. Like, it's the cover I remember when this cover came out. I remember when the solicits for this cover came out, and everybody was like, the fuck is this issue gonna be about? Like, Why is Kurt naked? Why is Logan staring at naked Kurt? Because, like, this was still while Kurt was still a priest in this time. And also, like, you know, neither of them were canonically gay or anything like that. So it was like, the cover came out of nowhere, right? Like, what the fuck? Where did this cover come from? Of course, once you get into the issue, the cover has nothing to do with it. But it's, I mean, it's a cover that it's got. I mean, I feel like when it comes down to iconic covers in X-Men history, this is one of them.
Most X-Men fans have heard of this, I feel like. Like, even if you're not the biggest Kurt fan or Logan fan or whatever, like, you've heard of this cover because we won't shut up about it. Like, those of us that love this cover and, like, I have it. And you know what? I was thinking of all my Nightcrawler walls that I have down here. I don't have this cover on my wall. So I need to find somewhere to put it now more than ever. Like, what am I doing with myself? What am I doing?
I feel like every single time, too, that there's any kind of, like listicle of, like, homoerotic moments in the X-Men, this cover is always, like, on it.
Well, and like, you know, I mean, homoerotic stuff is everywhere in the X-Men. That's a whole other episode, podcast.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, you could do, I mean, that's halfway of what Connor does on Cerebro, right? Like, he goes into character files, but let's be real, he also finds every single homoerotic thing in the X-Men, which is fantastic.
Yeah. So, and this is just blatant. Like, it's, you know, Kurt is just naked with his little tail, swinging.
It is so good, man. You know what we should have. I wish we could have gotten Dr. Papard Anna back on for this episode. I feel like she'd have so many things to say.
I mean, to be fair though, the sexy thing is just the cover. The rest of the issue is not sexy at all. I will say though, coming from an art standpoint, the cover, the aesthetics and the composition of the cover are really nice. Like, he's utilized the golden ratio very well in the cover, like the way that he's put it together. And like just the curve of Kurt's tail is very, it's just very, very well put together. It's very aesthetically pleasing. It could go on the wall in the Met, is what I'm saying. You can put it on the wall in the Met next to a Rembrandt, and I wouldn't look twice.
It's like you like work with art or something. It's like you know what you're talking about. Who would have thought?
Who is she? Who is she? I'll tell you who she is. I'll tell you who she is. She's one half of Lisa and the Snack. That's
right. That's our first t-shirt, Lisa and the Snack. If anybody has trademarked that, I will cry.
Oh, who's going to trademark Lisa and the Snack? I mean, like, come on.
We are.
Yes, we are. It's already done. By the time you hear this episode, it's been trademarked. It's done. TM. It's already done. Oh my God. All right. So yeah, it's, again, I don't know what else to say about the cover. It's like, moving on. I mean, let's get into the issue now. The issue starts with a bunch of shit that has to do with old stuff from Wolverine that I didn't read, so who cares? Just some woman trying to... it's like some Karen is yelling at a woman who's like, is yelling at like a sketch artist, being like, oh, by the way, Derek Robertson is the artist on this, who was the artist on the whole Nightcrawler series we just covered. So it's kind of like...
From 2004, yes.
Yeah, so he did this before that series. So I love this because, like, this Karen is like, you're not drawing him right. And she's like, bitch, I'm drawing what you're telling me to draw. Like, what do you want from me? And I totally get it. Like, be clear.
Bruh, no, but it's so funny because, so this is like an agent or a detective, whatever. And basically... I don't know the story before this issue. So those of you that are like, I'm lost, it's okay. So am I.
Yeah, we are too.
Don't worry about it. This issue doesn't need it. But what is hilarious is that clearly this detective agent, whatever, is trying to find Logan, trying to get a profile. And they've spent hours, this agent's been telling this person, the sketch artist, to draw him accurately. And then the crazy thing is that after all this time, the sketch artist has clearly drawn Logan looking more animalistic, right? And the agent gets mad. She's mad as heck. She's like, he's not an animal. And the lady's just like, what the heck? Like, you really seem to like care about whatever dude you're trying to get me to draw. Like, you either like, I don't know what your problem is, but it actually kind of sounds like you want to sleep with him. So you need to figure your shit out. So yeah, this is a really weird dynamic walking in.
To be fair, the sketch artist actually does a pretty good job drawing Logan. It looks like Logan. Like, that looks literally like Logan. And I don't know if there was like an SNL skit or like a Key and Peele skit. I vaguely recall something like somebody trying to describe something to a sketch artist, and the way to describe it is like, he had eyes like two fireballs in Paris. And it's like, that's what this reminds me of. It's like, girl, you clearly have the hots for him. It's gross because he smells, and he's going to admit he smells later in the issue. Just you want to fuck him, that's fine. Just go fuck him then. Like,
Y'all, here's the thing too. I've no issue with people thirsting after Logan, like whatever. It's definitely like the vibe, the thirst level, like the agent and the way she's thirsting for him is definitely kind of fucked up. But it gets worse. It's gonna get
yeah, it's
more
gonna get
weird.
worse.
I just want y'all to know this because I got to that page we're gonna get to later,
Ugh.
and I said, "What is happening?"
Yeah, I was very confused. But, moving on. I mean, let's leave her behind because who cares? We're going to get to a bar. Logan is sitting in a bar. I mean, surprise, surprise, alcoholic. When he gets there, as he's sitting there, this little, like, cute little blonde, like, young priesty guy walks in and asks for a beer. Logan's like, making a picture, with 3 glasses. And it turns out the priesty guy is actually Kurt, with a image inducer, and Logan's like, you better turn that shit off. I want to see my man. If my man's with me, I want to see my man. And Kurt is like, doesn't want to turn it off, but it turns out that they're actually in like a mutant bar, and like everybody who's there is like kind of a mutant. So Kurt feels a lot more comfortable turning off his image inducer, and so he does, so that they can have a heart-to-heart, mano y mano.
Yeah. Yep. I actually, I don't know. The fact that Kurt took the form of a priest pissed me off. I'm not going to lie. I get the time period this comic was written, but like, if I was Logan, I wouldn't only be pissed he used his image inducer. I would also be pissed that he picked a priest of all the things. Like, buddy.
Yeah, but like he is a priest at this time, or he thinks he's a priest, number one. And number two, the other thing, like I don't know, the timeline on all this stuff is kind of crazy. The other thing too about this is, I guess, if you're trying to like just be somebody who nobody is going to look twice at, I guess a priest is kind of, nobody kind of looks, nobody's going to like look twice at a priest like walking down the street.
Yeah. And I mean, I get it. Again, I understand the time, but I just don't care for Kurt as a priest. So I was still like, boo hiss, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It makes sense for the time and all that. But yeah, Kurt comes in and Logan is feeling sorry for himself. Like, and he's clearly done something again. I haven't read the 5 issues before this, but he's done something. But also, like, they mentioned Peter died. So is that Colossus?
Yeah, Colossus. This is before Colossus came. This is before Joss Whedon brings him back. So, yeah, it's, oh my God, it's kind of crazy going back and forth reading this stuff because, we have the ability to, look back on the 20 years of comics that have happened since then. And it's hard sometimes to think about when things happened and when things happened in the timeline. But this has to be before Astonishing X-Men and when Joss Whedon brought Colossus back. So yeah, Colossus is dead from the legacy virus. And this is before Kitty comes back to the X-Men. So yeah, because Kurt's like, oh yeah, I saw her. So yeah, he's dead. They drink to him, and Kurt's like, yeah, no, this is a good place. I'm like enjoying it. I like being around like other mutants and everything like that. And then Kurt's like, well, what's going on? You need a shower. You seem sad. And Logan, of course, is like, yeah, I know I smell. Yeah, you do, asshole. We all know you smell. That's why that's why Emma won't sleep with you. And that's why Storm won't sleep with you. And again, everybody who ships Logan and Emma or Logan and Storm, it's not going to happen, guys. I'm sorry.
Logan and Storm, I can kind of see. I literally can't see Emma and Logan.
She's literally a goddess. She's literally a goddess.
Well, I feel like it's just a stretch off of like the fact that she dated Scott. I mean, like Scott and Logan don't need to share all the women. Stop it.
Stop. Emma, definitely not. But like Storm is literally a goddess. Why would she lower herself?
I mean, I feel like that's kind of mean to Logan, but I mean, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't ship that at all, but I can see where fans get that, particularly with like the older, like 70s, 80s comics. I can see the stretch, but they're really good friends. They have respect. I think they have high respect for each other, but they're not into each other in such a way. Cause I mean, in a way, like, yeah, Storm is a goddess and regal 100,000%, but Logan also, he is old. He's been around for frickin' ever. So he thinks also very differently than a lot of people. So in a way, mentally at times, Storm and Logan are more even than their peers, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, I think that like, I feel like all the different X-Men have special relationships with the different groups that they joined together with.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like Storm, Colossus, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, they all definitely have a very special relationship with each other, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because they all joined the team together.
Mm-hmm.
And even though Banshee, Sunfire, and Thunderbird also joined at that same time. Am I forgetting anybody? If I am, they are meaningless. Am I forgetting anybody?
I think you got them all, hon.
I think I'm looking up for my giant size X-Men right now. Yeah, I did get them all. But I mean, Thunderbird died. Banshee is like 40, so I mean, he's not hanging out with the kids. And Shiro was an asshole and just left. So, you know, you just got the 4 of them left who really like stuck around with the X-Men and like, you know, tried. So, you know, they kind of have like a special relationship. And you see that kind of same thing with like the New Mutants all like have their own little special relationship. They're all kind of little cliques. Like, right? Like the Academy X kids are like kind of little clique. Like they're all kind of their own little cliques. So
right.
They've got their little like, you know, little foursome. Well, threesome now because Peter's dead at this time. So
R.I.P.
But then he comes back. So yeah, I like this little part where the bartender's like, should I just run a tube from the keg for you for the beer? And it reminds me of when Barney in Simpsons is like, hook it to my veins, which I think Logan would do 100%.
Yeah.
So then they talk about some girl who died, and again, something that happened earlier in the comics, who cares?
Well, her last name is Braddock. Is she related to Betsy and Brian?
I don't think she has anything to do with them, no. Like,
well,
which is
why'd they choose that name? God dang it.
There was another comic where they did something like that, I feel like, and it was like, why would you choose that name if you're not going to have any connection? But I didn't care enough to look into it, because who cares? So then we move on to like the weird ass sexy scene with Miss Karen from finance who wants a drawing done. And she's like imagining him coming to fuck her, and then she's like,
oh god, that's the scene, y'all. That scene was okay. Listen, it's just this lady got some really fucked up shit she need to go therapy for, because listen, I need to describe this because I was reading this and I was like, what? Because Logan, so the scene you see is it's really dark. Logan's in a bedroom. He's naked. He's got his claws out. He's looking very animalistic. Really creepy and weird, right? Then there's a woman in bed, right? Sleeping, okay? Which this is the Karen lady in finance that's actually an agent, whatever, okay? Then he climbs on top of her from behind, still with his claws out, still naked, and then Karen lady is all like, we should stop meeting like this. And then she wakes up and you see it's a dream, and I'm just like, ma'am, what? Why would you want him with his claws out? Like, what? Anyway, you guys can tell I'm bewildered.
I'm be real. I am happy to do this with somebody. Like, this sounds like a lot of fun. Like, get your Wolverine claws out and come meet me, because this sounds like a good time.
After the Lisa and the Snack show tonight, whoever wants to meet Lisa with their Wolverine claws, as long as you're sexy, you can flaunt it.
That's it, exactly. After episode 69, we're gonna have Lisa and the Snack, and then it's Wolverine fun time. So
those are our new segments when we go live.
Oh my god, this is turning into an absolute mess. Oh god. So I will say that the one fun thing is that it's almost like we have the answer to Kurt's naked ass on the cover. Is now we have Logan's naked ass, so it's ass to ass here.
That's when it's true love. Ass to ass, cheek to cheek.
That's it, exactly. Ass to ass. Which actually, honestly, ass to ass does not sound like great. Unless there's something else involved. Okay, we're moving on immediately. Why
are you analyzing that? Lisa, do we need to talk?
I don't know. It's been a long day. Moving on. This is something like, yeah, moving on. Anyway, Miss Karen, she's just like, oh my god, this guy's in my head so deep. I wish he was somewhere else so deep. And then we go back to the bar, and they're still talking about Lucy Braddock and how she was 17, and it was, so young. But then Kurt is going on about, death is like natural. It's part of life. And, he's clearly not heard of Krakoa at this point. Death it's all part of life. It's what happens. And like, even murder is a part of like that natural process of death and life.
Yeah, and that was pretty crazy for Kurt to say. Like, that stood out to me. and then Logan disagreeing when he murders often. So I'm here like, this is very interesting.
So, it's funny because Kurt follows up to say, which I thought was a great answer to it, was that, he's like, I don't advocate it. I'm not saying let's go murder people, but, it's like murder is all, like, the Bible is chock full of murder. It's like,
yeah,
it's just people murdering people left and right in the Bible. It's not saying that, you should murder. It's not saying that, murder is the right thing to do. It's just saying that, like, this is a way that, it's that the culling of the herds, which Kurt refers to later, is handled sometimes. It's unfortunate. So basically, going from there, Logan then moves on to tell Kurt that he had murdered 27 men. Which, of course, is shocking to Kurt, right?
Not to us, though. Not to us.
No, I mean...
It's another day. It's another hour for Logan.
Yeah. No, Kurt's just pissed off that Logan stuck something in 27 other men. He's like, what? How dare you? It is the 69th episode.
We're like undercover Logert fans now. Like undercover even from ourselves.
Oh my God. If me heard me saying this, she would be so upset. So here's what I really love about this issue is Kurt starts questioning why Logan did it, right? And Logan's like, you're making excuses for me. You're trying to excuse what I did. And he's like, no, I'm trying to understand why you did what you did. Like, I'm trying to understand, like, did you do it? Did you have a reason for doing it that, that I can understand? Or like, did you do it for the sake of doing it? Because if you did it for the sake of doing it, then like you need to be stopped and I will die trying to stop you, is what he kind of comes down to. And then Logan comes to, tells him that, this was a cult. It was a cult of people who were, kidnapping women and little girls and like using them, which again, I'm sure we saw in earlier issues, which I don't really need to read at this point, knowing that that's what this was about. Thanks, but no thanks. And Kurt's like, hey, listen, if that's the case, then, you probably did the right thing. And Logan wants absolution from him. He's like, you're a priest, absolve me of my sins. And Kurt's like, oh, isn't that funny that you think that that's how it works? Because it's not really how it works. You can't just like go out and be like, I'm a sin. And then just be like, guess what? I'm fine now because the priest said so. There was actually...
Isn't that what Catholics do? You say 5 Hail Marys and you're good? I'm genuinely asking.
I mean, kind of, but like there's a little bit more. I mean, kind of. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not really that Catholic, so I can't really give you all the details. I think there's more to it than that. There is an episode of 30 Rock, though. Have you ever watched 30 Rock?
Yes.
Oh my God. Do you remember the episode where Tracy's trying to figure out what religion he is? And he's like trying out all these different religions. And then I think it was like one of Jack's brother, Nathan Lane plays Jack's brother, and he shows up and he's like, yeah, I'm like Irish Catholic. I just do whatever the fuck I want. And then I go to the priest and I tell the priest, and the priest's like, you're forgiven. And then I move on and I do whatever the fuck I want. And Tracy's like, I'm Irish Catholic now. He's just like, but like, I mean, again, I don't know enough about it to say that, this is definitely how it is. Again, I'm not a good Catholic. I was raised kind of in it, but I'm not practicing or part of it at all. So, but yeah, I think part of the idea is like, you can't just keep doing bad things and keep going to the priest and being like, absolve me. You know what I mean? It's like, the idea is you're supposed to actually be asking for forgiveness because you regret what you've done. And if you just keep doing the same thing over and over again, you clearly don't regret it. So
when you're actively doing better, because you can regret something, like I can genuinely regret something, but then if I feel absolved and I think, cool, next time I regret it, I can just be absolved, then I'll keep doing it. So you actually have to want to do better and be trying.
Yeah.
And if you're not trying, then what's the point? And I think that's the whole point. Kurt's trying to tell Logan here is that, hey, if you're trying, that's enough. You just have to be trying. If you're not trying, like your ass is sitting here in this bar right now feeling sorry for yourself and drinking yourself shit, that's not trying. So like,
Yeah.
do the trying part and we're good, buddy.
And I think part of it too is like, and again, this is me just talking on my base knowledge of it. Part of it is there's only so much that, you know, the priest can do. It's like it's all about your own relationship with God. And if, you know, the priest can absolve you, but if you're not right with God, then, you know, it's you're not going to be right in the afterlife. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you're not doing the right things, if you're not following all the tenets and you're not you know, uh living the godly life or whatever, like, because the idea of absolution is not that you're doing bad things and getting absolved for it. It's the idea is that you're living a godly life, but as human beings we are not perfect and we sometimes will falter, and like this is an opportunity for us as human beings to falter but still kind of live a godly life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea of it. It's not like, hey, I'm just going to go out and do whatever the fuck I want and just go in once a week, and the priest is going to be like, here's
Mm-hmm.
your slip for next week so you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, but I think Kurt kind of explains that here. In, you know, he kind of explains, you know, like that's just hollow forgiveness. Like, why would you want that? Like, it's not about being forgiven, because if you still feel upset about it, if you still have harbor feelings about it, what does it matter if I forgive you? You know, like you didn't do anything to me. I like, if I as a priest forgive you for it, what difference does it make? Because I'm not the wronged party for this. I'm not the one who you killed. I'm not the one that you hurt. So that's just hollow.
Yeah, and I really, one thing I like about this issue is that it's another way of showing that Kurt really kind of helps guides Logan's moral compass quite often, and
Oh
I
yeah,
would actually think, you know, that we've seen it in other comics and such where like Logan's thinking about making a decision, but then he thinks about Kurt or something Kurt said to him, and then he goes, "Oh, fine," and then he does the morally better option. So I think, yeah, this is just such a great issue for showing that.
yeah. They um there's that part I mentioned earlier where Kurt talks about the culling of the wolves, how the wolves will cull the herd of the evil or of the sickness. And then Logan, as they leave the bar, it's closing, they leave the bar, Logan kind of takes issue with Kurt comparing him to a wolf, because he's like, I'm not an animal, you know, which this is a very clearly a sore spot for Logan, is that he's been compared to an animal much of his life because of the nature of his powers and kind of the nature of his history with Weapon X and different things, is like he's been very animalistic and people have treated him like an animal.
Yeah.
And of course Kurt says, you know, I know you're not an animal. Of course you're not an animal.
Yeah.
And I want to mention in this, because I love this ending. So when Kurt dies in Second Coming, during his uh during the funeral, for I think it was during Kurt's funeral, Logan
Uh-huh.
has a whole part where he talks about how the only person in his life that never treated him like an animal was Kurt. The only person who always treated him like a human being, always treated him like a man, was Kurt. And I
Mhm.
thought that that was such a nice, like, I don't know if that specifically is referencing this comic or just referencing a lot of other things, but it was such a nice, having, like, looking back on this comic now, having read Second Coming, it was like a nice kind of like comparison, nice thing to see. Um, and
Yeah.
and and there are so many moments, like, I'm trying to think back, like there are a lot of moments that Logan and Kurt have shared together. Like Logan was the one who like Kurt told Logan about his faith before anybody else. Like Logan found out about Kurt's faith before anyone else.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that Kurt found out Logan's name before anyone else. So it's just they have a very, very, very close relationship. And I think part of that is because they both struggle with this kind of animal thing.
Yeah. No, that's a great point, and I love that you said all that because, yeah, I mean, in this moment, it kind of broke my heart at the end because I think that's why. So in that moment where they walk out and Logan says, you know, about the wolves, I'm not an animal, and he kind of repeats that to himself, and he looks sad. So it's like a movie moment where it's like, I'm not an animal, non-animal, and he's like he's actually sad. Like, here's the thing with Logan, we don't see Logan sad often. We see angry, we see upset, we see all these other, but we don't see just sad a lot. And so when Kurt says, I know you're not an animal, he still looks devastated, Logan, because I think that was an aha moment for him. I have no clue what happens after this issue, but I feel like that was an aha moment, was that even Kurt, who he knows loves him and truly doesn't see him as animal and sees so much good in him, like he literally says in this comic, even Kurt is telling him he needs to get his head out of his ass. And I think this was Kurt's way of telling him how serious it is that he needs to get his head out of his ass, because yeah, you're not an animal, but I want you to realize how close you're getting. You're on that line. So yeah, I think that's really wonderful. And especially when he does die in Second Coming, I don't want to talk about that. But when he does, and Logan remembers him and everything, like, he doesn't look back on this moment, right? I think that also is telling of this moment. He doesn't look back on what happened in this issue and go, well, there was that one time he called me an animal, but most of the time he didn't call me an animal. He goes, no, Kurt never saw me that way, because once he gets past this tough time or whatever he's going through here, I think he understood exactly what Kurt was trying to do.
Yeah. I think that the big takeaway here is, like, we get this real point of vulnerability from Logan that we never ever see typically. Like, it's just this, and it's an internal point of vulnerability, because we've seen, like, external vulnerability from Logan, like when people he loves are in danger. That typically is when you can see him becoming emotional. But for him to have, like, a self-esteem issue is not something you see from Logan. So that is a very interesting, point. So they end up leaving the box, which is what the bar's name is. The bar is called the Box, guys. The Box.
Of course.
I mean, 69.
There's lots of corners.
That's what I'm saying. And yeah, and that is the end of Wolverine number 6. Butt to butt. Ass to ass. Cheek to cheek.
Butt to butt, cheek to cheek. I mean, seriously, where are our sponsors? Trojan Condoms. We're waiting.
I know, right? Is there a butt paste sponsor?
I think you would just look at, like, a sex toy sponsor then, boo.
I don't know. They make baby butt paste.
Look, Adam and Eve, we talk about Kurt. He's a Catholic character. You guys are from the Bible. Your name's from the Bible. Come on.
That's true. What about Summer's Eve? No. Okay, moving on.
That's feminine hygiene products, boo.
That's true. I don't know what we're talking about anymore. It's been a long day. Well, everybody, thank you again so much for joining us for a fabulous, simply amazing, our 69th episode.
Yes!
It has been a roller coaster, up and down and up and down and up and down all this time. Just enjoying ourselves, having a great time. Yeah. Well, we are, we're just going to keep plugging on. We're going to do 70. We're going to do 71. We'll do 72. We might even make it to 73, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God. What if we get to 169? It's going to be huge.
We will eventually get to 169. Like, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Like, it'll probably be a Nocturne episode by then. By then, we'll be talking about Nocturne fucking a Proud Star. That's going to be it. Pick your Proud Star.
Or we'll be talking about we'll be talking about how in current canon, Nightcrawler and Scarlet Witch had to fuck to actually make Nocturne in current canon.
Shut up. Don't tease me. Like
manifesting.
All right, thank you. Let's manifest it. We're manifesting right now. All right, good. All right, everybody. Well, if you want to come find us and talk about everything, like, for example, Kurt and Logan, Kurt and Wanda, Kurt and whomever, I don't care.
Anything to do with Kurt.
Even Nocturne. Talk to me about Nocturne anytime. I love talking about Nocturne. You can come find us. We are at simplyamazing.com. Simplyamazingpod.com is the website. You can find us and everything else. Oh, Lauren, tell them where they can find you, baby girl.
Oh, yeah. You can find me on Twitter at friendlymBHDBI. And I do an indie comic channel as well, in case you care about that stuff, at MBHD Comic Show. Lisa makes some appearances. We need to get you back on sometime.
I know. I got to get back there soon. I'm actually, like, literally on a cruise as we speak right now, as this episode is dropping. So once I'm back, we'll figure something out. So, yes, we'll do something. Oh, and you are going to write a comic, it looks like. You said you want to write a comic, so...
No, listen, I am mind blown by the amount of attention that tweet got because I tweeted out, should I write no, it was what if I wrote a comic or something like that. And a bunch of people responded and a bunch of people said yes. And here's the thing. I don't actually have an idea for a comic currently, but I was thinking about, you know what? What if I did write a comic and made something that I actually like? Because I'm mad at my work life right now. Don't worry about it. And then people were like, yeah, you should do it. And I'm like, I thought I was kidding, but now I actually want to do it. So I don't know. Maybe it'll come in like the next 5 years. I
Girl,
gotta think of something.
I got something for you. Lisa and the Snack.
Lisa and the Snack. I gotta figure out what that would be about. I don't know. I can't say it on here though. I can't give away
It's
ideas. Somebody will
the
take
best, the best detective agency in the world. Oh my god, it's a detective agency for cheating husbands and wives, cheating spouses, and who ate my snack.
it. So cheating spouses and kindergartners.
Yes, yeah, cheating spouses, and coworkers who eat your lunch.
Honestly, that sounds hilarious. That could be fun.
Right? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? It's like, are you fucking my wife? No, but I did eat your meatball sub, bitch.
That'd be a good sitcom, honestly.
That'd
It'd be
be
really
amazing.
stupid. I'd enjoy
I would love it. I would love it. It's like we have a whole line of people. One of them fucked your wife, and one of them ate your Thai chicken.
Got him.
Exactly. Done. Book 'em, Dano. All right, guys. So, yes, thank you again for joining us. Again, you can find us on simplyamazingpod.com. We got all of our links to all of our socials there: Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, something, Twitch, I don't know, the thingies, whatever. You know, the things. Whatever still exists. I mean, with everything happening the way it happens, who knows what exists by the time this episode comes out. So, we're on whatever exists. Yeah, so come find us, come talk to us. If you like us, please rate us, review us, subscribe, tell us you love us, tell us you hate us, tell us you're indifferent, tell us, just give us a great recipe. I'm always looking to try new recipes. Just go on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave a recipe in the reviews. I'm good with that. Yeah. And if you are out there and you are currently butt-ass naked, well, I'm sure you'll find someone else who is butt-ass naked and you can go butt to butt because you are simply amazing.